We have a lot of matcha to try today. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can probably see, we have a lot of matcha in front of me, and all of them are actually from Amazon. So if you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, I have a series that is ongoing where I purchase matcha, and I'm starting to do some hojicha too, but where I purchase them from Amazon and I review them on whether or not they are worth it to me or not. And fun fact, that is actually where I found Marikyu Koyamen for the very first time. And I tried it, I think like maybe 2 or 1 year ago. And that's where I fell in love with that brand. And it's because I found it on Amazon. So I am here to tell you that there are good matchas that you can find on Amazon, and we are gonna go through all of these, and I'm gonna let you know which ones you should definitely buy and ones you can probably stay away from. So I made these all Americano style, so just matcha with water. There is no sweetener. I made them the exact same way for each and every one of them with the exact same amount of powder, so everything is fair in the tasting game. And later on I will also try it with milk, but let's dive into it Americano style first. This first one is from Breakaway Matcha, and this is their cold brew original. This was the only matcha available from this brand on Amazon, so I typically don't go for like the cold brew necessarily because I don't gravitate towards drinking cold brews with my matcha. It's more of like a matcha latte, but I really wanted to try this brand, so let's just taste it. It is very light. I understand why it's called a cold brew blend, because this is a very light matcha, and drinking it as an Americano I feel is probably going to be the best suited for it. So this one there's a little bit of astringency that I can taste on my tongue as like the notes kind of finish, and the more that I sip, the more that the astringency is there. This one I would say is more vegetal. It is a little bit on the more vegetal side of matcha. It doesn't taste sweet, and it doesn't really taste like it's well balanced. It's more of like a grassy matcha. But this is super refreshing, and I feel like if you are a person who likes to drink their matchas as an Americano, I think this one might be the one for you because it is really smooth and it is really refreshing. So with milk, the matcha flavor actually disappears and I can't really taste it as much. But however, the astringency and the bitterness is still left. And I think with the milk, it kind of enhances that like astringency a little bit more. So I would probably stay away from drinking it as a latte and just drink it as an Americano with water, because I think that's probably the best way this is suited for, and it tasted the best just with water. Next up, let's try rokucha. This is rokucha ceremonial grade matcha. This is from the cultivar Yabukita. It is first harvest, stone milled, and from the single origin Nishio, Japan. I don't think I've ever tried a matcha from the Yabukita cultivar or from Nishio, Japan. Actually, I might have tried the cultivar Yabukita, but I've never tried a matcha from Nishio, Japan before, so that is what caught my eye with this one. I had to do some digging to find this specific one. This one is really smooth, and I don't really taste any bitterness too much. This is really smooth, and it's really light, and I kind of almost taste like there's like lemon, or there's like a floral like aftertaste to it in the note. Like when I drink it and I sip it, I kind of get a hint of like the floral, not like completely strong floral, but there's like a floral like lemon like aftertaste to it. With the milk, I can actually taste like the lemon floral aftertaste notes a lot stronger in the milk, and it kind of like enhances the creaminess of the matcha powder, making it a little bit stronger. Because like with this one that was cold brew, like it did the opposite, where the milk actually made it taste watery or more watery, but in this one the matcha powder with the milk actually helps to enhance the creaminess of the powder. So I feel like also the lemon and the floral notes got a little bit stronger. That one is very good. Okay, next up, let's try Kiss of Matcha. And I actually heard about this brand because I saw a lot of people, I think it's in San Francisco, I could be wrong, I'll fact check that, but I saw a lot of people who live there go to this cafe, and I see a lot of like good reviews about their like matcha lattes there. So when I was looking on Amazon and I found their powder, I was like, perfect, because I don't know when's the next time I'll be in San Francisco to try that actual like shop. But they do sell their own powder, so I could try it myself. This one has a really deep like matcha color to it. Even though it is only an Americano, I feel like the color is such a deep green. That is bitter. That is a bitter matcha. It is really deep though. Like the matcha flavor, it's there. It's very bold. It's very rich, but it also comes like with a really bold bitterness and like very like grassy notes. Like this is for sure like more like earthy and very grassy. The milk does not really help it. It still is really, really, really bitter. I feel like that's the only thing that I can say for this one, is that this is a really bitter and deep matcha, which I do appreciate. I appreciate a really strong flavored and bold matcha, which I tend to prefer. So I appreciate that this one has a lot of the matcha flavor, but I feel like the bitterness for me, I can't get past, and I just like don't enjoy it. Like I think I would have to add like maple syrup to this for sure, or like some syrup to like make myself enjoy it, because to me it is just super bitter. Next up, we are gonna try this Kyoto matcha from the brand Dona. So I visited this cafe earlier this year and I really enjoyed their matcha, and I saw that they used this brand. It was in their store. So I searched it up and I saw that they were on Amazon. So I bought it and I did a review for it on my Instagram and TikTok. So I already know I like this one, but I wanted to do a review for you guys on here. That one's good. It's so smooth and there's absolutely no bitterness to it or like astringency. There's no like dry mouthfeel at the end of the taste. There's like a slight like floral taste towards the end of it. Kind of similar to the rokucha one, but not as strong. This is more vegetal. Like this isn't a sweet matcha. This is kind of leaning more towards the vegetal side. Yeah, with the milk, it brings forward a lot more of like the depth of the flavor of the matcha, and the matcha powder actually becomes stronger. And I feel like I can taste like the vegetal notes a little bit more compared to with the original like Americano way. There is like a slight like nutty toastiness to it, but I think the vegetal profile of it overpowers any of those notes. And it's not like it's super grassy. It is really smooth, and with the oat milk, it makes it really creamy and a really good matcha latte. I feel like this is a really good one for like daily drinking. I just like that this is a really well-balanced matcha and the vegetal is there, but it's not overpowering. Our last one we have today is this one. This is the hayashiya uji matcha. And this one is gorgeous. Like the packaging, the green of the matcha, it's like the perfect color. Oh my gosh. Wait, that is crazy. This tastes like lemon. Like even more lemon than this one, the rokucha one. This one is like lemon to the max. And it's super smooth. There's no bitterness. There's a little bit of astringency, like there's a little bit of that like bite to it, but it's not overpowering. And wow, it's like somebody like squeezed like lemons in here, but it's not tart. It's like the lemon essence. Okay. That tastes like a slice of lemon vanilla cake with the milk. That is what it tastes like. It reminds me of this lemon crunch cake that I used to be obsessed with growing up when I could eat dairy. And that was like one of my favorite like cakes ever. This matcha with the oat milk tastes like a lemon crunch cake. And I love lemon flavored things. As you can probably tell, like I get excited with like the lemon profiles, but this one tastes so good. I would say this is a sweeter matcha, and yeah, it's just so creamy. It's still like really refreshing with the lemon, but with the oat milk, it just tastes like a cake. Like it brings out the lemon and the creaminess. That was a great note to end with. That was a great matcha to end with. All right, so after we just tasted all of this, here are my final thoughts and final ratings for each matcha. So starting off with breakaway matcha, in the area of richness, I'm giving it a 1 out of 5. And because this is not a rich matcha, it is very, very light. It's a very light matcha. For bitterness, I am giving it a 1.5 out of 5 because there was like a little bit of it, but it wasn't super overpowering and I could kind of ignore it. For color, I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5. It wasn't super bright, but it also wasn't like a bad color either. For sweetness, I'm giving it a 0 out of 5 because it wasn't a sweet matcha. And umami, also 0 out of 5 because there wasn't really any umami forward flavors. Again, this is a really light matcha because it is a cold brew blend. So for my recommendation, I would recommend this matcha for those of you guys who like to drink it as an Americano. But if you are a latte drinker like I am, then I would say that you can buy something else because this is not meant to be drinking that way. And you won't really get that matcha flavor that you're probably looking for in a latte. For rokucha, up next. For richness, I gave it a 1 out of 5. This is not a deep or really rich matcha. It's more light and refreshing. For bitterness, I gave it a 1 out of 5. I did give it a 0 out of 5 if you're following me on Instagram and TikTok and you saw that video already. But the more that I drank it today, the more that I realized that it was a little bit bitter. Like it's very faint, but I could taste it. So give it a 1 out of 5. For color, I give it a 3 out of 5. This isn't a super bright and vibrant matcha color, but it also isn't like brown or like yellowish. It is just a little bit of a dull green. Sweetness, I'm giving this a 1 out of 5 because this is a sweeter matcha. It's not super sweet, that's why I'm only giving it a 1 out of 5, but it does taste sweeter than a lot of matchas that I've tried today. Out of all of these, this one is pretty sweet, and with that like lemon like aftertaste, it's not vegetal, it's more on the sweet side. For umami, I gave it a 0 out of 5. There isn't really anything savory or deep or rich about this matcha. So would I recommend this matcha? I say yes. Yes, yes, yes. I say yes because I think this is such a good daily drinking matcha, and if you like lemon and really refreshing matchas, you will definitely enjoy this one. And it's a pretty good price too. Next, we have Kiss of Matcha. This one. Yeah, for richness, I'm giving this a 3 out of 5. This is a really rich matcha with a really bold matcha flavor, which again, I do appreciate. But in the category of bitterness, I gave this a 4 out of 5. It is a really bitter matcha. So as much as like the boldness of the matcha flavor is there, the bitterness also kind of like tags along with it, but then overpowers it. For color, I give it a 3 out of 5. Again, this is like not a vibrant green color. It was more of like a dull green. Sweetness, giving it a 0 out of 5. This is not a sweet matcha. It was definitely more grassy. For umami, I gave it a 2 out of 5. This one is more savory and there is more of that like rich like undertone to it. So would I recommend this matcha? I'm gonna say no. Again, I know people may enjoy the one at the cafe, and I haven't tried it, so I can't really say anything. But to enjoy this matcha for me, I would have to put a lot of sweetener in there. And to me, I feel like that's just not a really good matcha, because if you have to like hide the flavor so much, then to me, it's not worth it. And next up for dona, I'm giving this richness a 2 out of 5. This one, I feel like it was not really light and refreshing, but there was a good enough like matcha flavor in there, but again, not like super deep and bold. For bitterness, I gave this a 1 out of 5. There is like a slight, like astringent, like bitter taste that I could sense like after I like drank a couple of sips. I could taste some bitterness. Color, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. This one is a pretty nice color. Like the color is a nice vibrant green. Sweetness, I'm giving it a 0 out of 5. This is not a sweet matcha. I would say it's more vegetal, a little bit more like grassier, a little bit more earthier, so not sweet at all. Umami, I'm giving this a 1 out of 5. There is like a slight hint of like the umami and like savoriness, kind of like with the nutty and the toasted notes. So would I recommend this matcha? I say yes, I would recommend this matcha to you guys. Again, this is one that I've tried already before and have recommended it to you guys already because I loved it so much. And lastly, we have the gion hayashiya matcha, and I just have to say, I think this is my favorite matcha out of all of these ones right here. And it's probably one of my best matcha finds on Amazon. Yet. But for this one, I am giving the richness a 1 out of 5. Again, this is not a super like deep matcha. I would say it's more light and refreshing. Bitterness, I give it a 0.5 out of 5 because there is like that slight bitterness when I drank it with the milk, but again, it's not even noticeable and it's barely there. Color, I give this a 5 out of 5. The green is gorgeous, is vibrant, is such a great green color. For sweetness, I gave this a 3 out of 5, and you probably already know why I gave it a 3 out of 5, and it's because it tastes like cake to me. And I know it's not the oat milk, it's just the milk is enhancing the matcha powder itself to taste like a lemon cake. For umami, I give it a 0 out of 5. Again, there's no like savoriness. There wasn't really any like vegetal flavor to me or like any of that grassiness, because all I could taste is the lemon notes. So would I recommend this? Obviously, yes. Gion hayashiya, guys, please get it. But yes, that was a lot of caffeine. I have to go and eat food now to stabilize my body. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will for sure be making more of these videos. Again, let me know in the comments what videos you guys want to see, what matcha brands you want to see me review, and I will try my best to get that done for you guys. But you can find all of these in my Amazon storefront. I will leave the link in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.